Alright, what's going on everyone? My name's That Kid, and I haven't really been uploading in a while. I'm sorry, but I've been working, not every day, but I've just been working, stressed, tired. I just got off, by the time I'm recording this, 2.5 hours ago. So, I wanted to tell a story that happened about, let me see, about 5 or so years ago. I was 14 at the time of this video, and I stopped wearing my glasses because I felt like I didn't need them anymore, and they were broken, so it took like a year or two to actually get them back. I don't know why, I can't remember. But this is about the time that I got stalked on the bus. Now, sounds big at first, but let me explain. So, this took place in the 8th grade. I was just chilling. This was the first year I stayed in one school for all the requirements. Basically, like how elementary is kindergarten to 5th grade, middle school is 6 to 8, depending on where you are, what school you go to. And then high school's 9 to 12, college being freshman to senior. Or depending if you're going for masters or doctorals. But basically, I was just chilling, weird year, and this is what capped it all. It was the beginning, so we were just going to the school, of course. So we had to pick some people up, and what's it called? So after I got picked up, we were actually being followed by this car for a while. Now, apparently, by what I remember, it was actually a fat guy with a beard. Like, if I had to describe the beard, it was kind of goes out here in a way. It's fat. It's like a fat beard, goes out this way. The guy was fat, wore a trucker hat. Kind of looked like Alabama Boss in a way, if you remember that guy. Alabama Boss, yeah. So the guy was weird. Apparently, he started following us after, my one friend, well, not my neighbor's, who was my friend's friend, he's apparently interacted with him and said, hey, it's raining or it's cold, you need an umbrella or coat? He's like, no, I'm good. And apparently kept persisting to talk to him. But he just ignored him and got on the bus. And apparently the guy started following them then. Now, we picked up the last person and we were just driving. Technically, I was the last person, so we were driving and all of a sudden, a lot of people were panicking. And then I turn around, that motherfucker's following us. And apparently he was smiling the whole time. So we get pulled over, and the guy just pulled behind us. He's just smiling and waving at us kind of like that. And everybody, around this time, everybody had cell phones, so everyone had a cell phone except for me. I never really had one. Well, I had one before, but I think I broke it if I'm correct. I'm not sure. I break a lot of shit as a kid. Except for my laptop once. That's a story for another day. But everyone was taking pictures of him and his license plate. Everyone's kind of panicking. And then it didn't even take that long. There was a fucking cop behind him. It took 5 or so minutes for a cop to come by. Apparently that was someone's aunt. And she gets behind the guy and started talking to him, and he was freaking out. He had his phone out or something. I don't know what he was doing with it. And apparently, after that, we actually just decided to get to school because we were late. We were always the late bus. Whether it was the morning or the afternoon, we were always late. So, that's the end of the story for that day, but I do remember what happened later on. So my neighbors I mentioned earlier, we're just going to call him Christopher. So Christopher actually came up to me. His brother was nearby, and Chris told me that apparently the guy was mentally ill in a way, and I guess he was just trying to help the kid and didn't know any better. I don't even know how he got his license in, but they found out because when they were trying to find him, they found him asleep in his car, and he was arrested that day. So I don't really know what happened to that guy, but that's really all I got. But I know this video ain't really too long, so I'm going to add at least another story or two. So this one actually took place that same year because 8th grade was really weird between my some family members passing away and friends betraying me. This one I can specifically remember deep to my heart because it was something I never thought I'd see. So this was in the 4th quarter of the year because every year you start off in the first quarter, then second, then third, then fourth. Most people get the attitude that the first two don't really matter, and then the last two you gotta work hard on. Third quarter not that much, and fourth quarter you have to work on if you want to go on to the next year. Either see your friends or get closer to leaving, so you don't have to worry about that same grade. So I had an English class and math class. The math class is irrelevant only for the fact that I had English and math in 2 periods each. So let's say there would be first quarter, second quarter. First period, second period, then there'd be third and fourth would be English, and fifth and sixth would be math, and I would have like my electives, history, science, all that. Like, the funny thing is, like, our homeroom classes that we all had were actually our first classes. So like if I had science the first period or my homeroom, I would go back there at the end of the day because all your shit would be left there, like whatever you didn't need. So let me just get to the point, okay? So we had this teacher. I don't really want to say his name, so I'm going to come up with a quick name. I'm going to call him Mr. Faggot, alright? So Mr. Faggot was a fuckboy, alright? I don't care what happens to this video at this point, but like, I'm just going to say whatever the fuck I want. I'm not monetized, so I don't give a shit. So fuckboy was, oh no, not fuckboy, Mr. Faggot was a fucking asshole at times. Like, he tried to be nice, but he was never nice to me. There was a time I broke out crying in my class because I was grieving one of my family members, and everyone was like trying to help me and like be nice, and he was just there just doing his fucking work, just writing like this shit, just like not giving two shits about me, and it was sad. Like, I actually like this guy. This motherfucker was like 6'6", skinny as hell. He had like a new family coming in and everything. I got a little bit of a nose run, but it's not a big deal. Not blood, but, you know. So apparently the girls really liked him. Like, two would always talk to him around like the last 5-10 minutes of class, because around like the last 5 or so minutes, you could actually wait in front of the line or in front of the door and just wait. So, what's it called? And at one point, my friend, and I don't want to give out his name, we're just going to call him Cheesesteak. So Cheesesteak, actually, don't ask why, he'll know who he is. Shout out to Cheesesteak. So Cheesesteak would actually, he apparently told me one time that he pointed out that something was going on. So some sort of flirting or something was going on. Like, they would try to pull up their sleeve and they were like, no, stop. Or whatever. So apparently my friend, who I don't want to give a name, so we'll call her Ariel from fucking Little Mermaid. So Ariel and Mr. Faggot were in some sort of sexual contact. And let me tell you, this is all true. All the stories I'm telling you are true. They're not fake. So Ariel and Mr. Faggot had apparently had sexual contact. Like, maybe not like the birds and the bees, but like, it was emails. Like, hundreds of emails, like a month. I don't know why they sent emails. I don't know why they wouldn't text. I mean, then again, the government could probably trace back, so they probably had to be careful. I don't know if they had any other contact. I don't know if they sent nudes or not, but apparently what happened was Ariel had to be homeschooled because I guess she got expelled. So to finish off 8th grade, she would be homeschooled, or she got delayed. I don't know. I don't even know where she is to this day. Like, I had her mom's phone number, but I don't know what happened to her. And the teacher got arrested, and he's serving prison time for pedophilia. His wife divorced him. He has a restraining order now and can't even be around his own kids. I can't even imagine what it was like with his kids. Like, they were too young to understand what was happening, thankfully. But Mr. Faggot was kind of a funny guy, but before then, like, I didn't really have a lot to think about him. I just saw him as cool because he was a tall, 6'6" guy that looked like he was a rock star, but a teacher for some reason in middle school. And looks like we're reaching 10 minutes right now, so I'm going to tell one more quick story. So, like I said, I transferred through a lot of schools. The only time I didn't transfer was middle school, so I transferred around pre-K. I transferred around elementary, and then high school. I went through 3 elementaries, and the first one looked like it was okay. That's where I found my best friend at. He says it's first grade. I say it's kindergarten where we met. I'm not sure, but there was a time in gym, and I don't remember how this happened, but I'm sliding on the ground. Like, you know those, like, woods where it's, like, so, like, clean that you could slide on it? I was sliding, and my hand was like this, and I was sliding, boom, into, like, a piece of metal on the wall. And I was in fucking pain. My hand was like this. Like, I couldn't move my hand. I broken my wrist on the fucking wall. So all the students are actually helping me, as many of them. They put it under cold water, and the coach just doesn't care. Now, I couldn't speak properly around this time, so around this time I would be like, hey, look at my bump. Look at my bump. And I don't know why I did that. So for 24 hours, I don't know why this was 24 hours. It took 24 hours for everyone to realize that I had a broken wrist. My mom cursed out, apparently, the coach there or something. Like, nobody, like, took care of me and such. So, unfortunately, I had to transfer schools that year. So, I transferred from that school to a different school. And It's a quick story because it's like really quick. It wasn't anything too big. Nobody really got into trouble, but my mom cursed out the coach there, maybe other coaches, and I had to get a cast. That was my first ever broken wrist. My second time was when I was riding my bike. I tried to do a wheelie and I fell out of control and everything, the bike, my body, everything landed on my left wrist. And at first, my neighbors, I had mentioned earlier, Christopher, him and his brother were like laughing at first because they thought it was funny. Then they realized what the fuck was happening, so they came out and helped me back to my house. This is all first grade. I don't even know how people were able to handle this shit. So, no, this wasn't first grade. That was like second or third. And then fifth grade, I remember I was at my friend Ben Schuyler's house. Ben Schuyler was his name. I know he's not going to be able to find me. I don't talk to him anymore. So Ben Schuyler, funny, we would actually be called Benjamin Franklin at times. But like, me and Ben Schuyler, I was at his house for his birthday. And for some odd reason, I was hanging on his tree house ladder thing. And I fell, landed on my right wrist. I went from a red wrist to a blue cast, red cast, blue cast, green cast. I don't know why. I would actually get upset when I wouldn't get the color that my mom wanted because I felt bad. So that's it today. These are 3 random stories with that kid. I hope you guys enjoyed, and don't you worry, you're getting a new room tour very soon. Peace.